My wife, Anna, was always up for a thrill, but this TikTok trend took things to a whole new level. It all began silly enough one evening when Anna and her sister, Lori, stumbled upon a chilling TikTok video that was making the rounds. The clip featured a woman with long dark hair and an unnervingly wide smile, appearing mysteriously in different spots around her house. Eerie atmosphere and the woman's silent, unsettling presence made my skin crawl just watching it. "Isn't that creepy?" Anna exclaimed, her eyes glued to the screen. Lori nodded eagerly, a mischievous glint in her eye. "We should totally try this." With a smirk, Anna handed me her phone, already queued up to the video. I reluctantly pressed play, feeling the tension build with each scene. The woman in the video never broke character, her smile frozen in place as she lurked in unexpected corners of her house. It was as if she was playing a game of hide-and-seek with the viewer. But the unsettling part was the lack of resolution. No punchline, just an escalating sense of dread. When the video finally ended, I breathed a sigh of relief, only to realize Anna and Lori had disappeared. "Anna? Lori?" I called out nervously, scanning the dimly lit rooms. My search led me to our bedroom, where I found Anna standing motionless in the shadows. Her silhouette was barely visible, framed by the faint light seeping through the curtains. Her hair cascaded over her face, obscuring her expression except for a wide, unblinking smile that sent a chill down my spine. "Anna," I said tentatively, flipping on the light switch. No response. Even Lori's attempts to snap her out of it fell flat, met only with that haunting smile and an eerie silence. As the night wore on, Anna's behavior grew increasingly erratic. She seemed to relish the fear she evoked, disappearing and reappearing unexpectedly, each time with a more unsettling demeanor. When I finally retreated downstairs and locked myself in, hoping for safety, I thought I was finally alone. But then, Anne appeared outside the window, clutching something disturbing in her hands, her smile now tinged with something primal. Terrified and unsure of what to do, I made a frantic decision to leave the house. As I drove away, the image of Anna's eerie smile haunted me, leaving me shaken to the core. Now, as I sit here grappling with the events of that night, I can't shake the feeling that something fundamental has changed, not just in Anna, but in our relationship and my own sense of safety. Deep within the heart of Holly Hills lies the abandoned mall, a decaying monument to a bygone era. My name is Ethan, a wanderer drawn to forgotten places, and this is the chilling tale of a fateful exploration that defied all reason. It began on a crisp autumn afternoon, when my friend Aaron and I embarked on our urban exploration escapade. Armed with cameras and a sense of adventure, we ventured into the crumbling halls of the Holly Hills Mall, seeking to capture its essence before time claimed it entirely. The mall, once a bustling hub of commerce and community, now stood frozen in time, a ghostly shell of its former self. Graffiti adorned the walls like modern hieroglyphs, telling tales of rebellion amidst the decay. As we navigated through the debris-strewn corridors, a sense of unease settled over us, amplified by the eerie silence that enveloped the space. Our journey led us deeper into the bowels of the mall, where darkness reigned supreme. We discovered forgotten shops, their shelves barren and windows shattered, remnants of a retail apocalypse long foretold. Yet, it was what lay beneath the main structure that would forever haunt our memories. Hidden from the world above, we stumbled upon an entrance, an ominous gateway to an underground labyrinth untouched by sunlight for decades. A chill ran down my spine as we descended into the abyss, our footsteps echoing ominously against the cold, damp walls. The air grew heavier with each step, carrying whispers of a forgotten era. Strange symbols etched into the stone walls hinted at rituals long abandoned, their meanings lost to time. Aaron, ever the skeptic, cracked nervous jokes to mask his growing unease, but even his bravado faltered in the face of the unknown. As we descended further into the subterranean maze, the architecture seemed to warp and shift, as if the very corridors conspired to confuse and confound us. Shadows danced along the walls, playing tricks on our minds, while distant echoes of unknown origin reverberated through the darkness. It was on the third level below ground that we encountered the first sign of something truly inexplicable. A room frozen in time, its contents preserved like a macabre museum exhibit. Dust-covered mannequins stood sentinel in eerie poses, their glass eyes seemingly following our every move with unsettling intensity. Driven by equal parts curiosity and dread, we pressed on, our path illuminated only by the faint glow of our flashlights. Each corridor led us deeper into a labyrinth, where reality blurred and fear took root. Strange noises echoed through the tunnels. Footsteps where none should tread, whispers that spoke of things better left unsaid. And then, amidst the labyrinthine passages, we stumbled upon a chamber, unlike any other, an expansive, cathedral-like space buried beneath the mall's foundations. Arcane symbols glowed faintly on the walls, casting an ethereal light that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. A sense of foreboding washed over us as we realized we were not alone. Figures cloaked in shadows moved with unearthly grace amidst the towering pillars, their faces obscured by darkness. The air crackled with energy as we stood frozen in fear, unable to comprehend the spectacle unfolding before us. Aaron's nervous laughter died in his throat, replaced by a palpable sense of dread that mirrored my own. In that moment of paralyzing terror, Aaron vanished, a fleeting shadow swallowed by the darkness before my very eyes. Panic surged through me as I called out his name, echoes mocking my desperation. Time seemed to stand still as I searched frantically, my mind struggling to grasp the impossibility of his disappearance. Hours passed like agonizing eternities as I wandered those forsaken halls, haunted by memories of a friend lost to shadows. Reality twisted and turned, denying me any semblance of escape, until finally, I emerged into the blinding daylight, a survivor of an ordeal that defied all reason. Authorities dismissed my account as fevered delusions, leaving me to grapple with the truth hidden beneath the mall's crumbling facade. Now, haunted by unanswered questions and the specter of Aaron's disappearance, I returned to Holly Hills, armed with determination and a resolve born of desperation. I seek answers in the darkness that claim my friend. When I was 11, I had a neighbor named Mr. Jenkins who was known as the eccentric old man of the neighborhood. His house was the oldest on the street, surrounded by overgrown bushes and a rusty gate that always seemed to creak ominously in the wind. Most kids, including me, avoided his house like the plague, believing it to be haunted or worse. One Sunday afternoon after school, my best friend Sarah dared me to knock on Mr. Jenkins' door and ask him for a cup of sugar. Determined to prove my bravery, I reluctantly agreed. The path to his house was littered with fallen leaves, crunching underfoot as we approached the front steps. The air felt heavy with a sense of unease as I raised my hand to knock. The door swung open slowly, revealing Mr. Jenkins, a tall, wiry man with deep-set eyes that seemed to pierce right through me. His voice was surprisingly gentle as he greeted us, his smile revealing yellowed teeth that contrasted sharply with his pristine white shirt and trousers. I stammered out a request for sugar, feeling a mix of relief and lingering unease. To my surprise, Mr. Jenkins invited us inside without hesitation. The interior of his house was a stark contrast to the unkempt exterior. Antique furniture adorned with lace doilies filled the spacious rooms, and sunlight filtered through dusty curtains, casting strange shadows on the walls. The air smelled musty and old like a forgotten library. As we followed Mr. Jenkins into the kitchen, Sarah nudged me and whispered, "This place gives me the creeps." I nodded in agreement but tried to hide my nervousness. Mr. Jenkins handed us a cup of sugar from a large glass jar on the counter, his hands trembling slightly as he did so. He seemed kind enough, but there was an underlying tension in the air that made my skin crawl. Just as we were about to leave, Mr. Jenkins cleared his throat and asked if we'd like to see something special. Sarah shot me a worried glance, but curiosity got the better of me, and I nodded cautiously. Mr. Jenkins led us down a narrow hallway lined with faded photographs and into a dimly lit room at the back of the house. The room was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. Shelves filled with curious artifacts lined the walls, strange trinkets and old books stacked haphazardly on every surface. In the center of the room stood a large ornate mirror that seemed to shimmer in the low light. Mr. Jenkins approached it reverently, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "This mirror," he began, his voice barely above a whisper, "is no ordinary mirror. It has a story to tell." He explained that the mirror had been in his family for generations, passed down from father to son. Our legend had it that it possessed mystical powers, able to reveal glimpses of other worlds and times to those who dared to gaze into its depths. Sarah scoffed at the idea, but I couldn't tear my eyes away from the mirror's reflective surface. It seemed to draw me in, its antique frame glinting with an otherworldly light. Mr. Jenkins smiled knowingly and encouraged me to take a closer look, with trembling hands. I stepped forward and peered into the mirror. At first, I saw nothing but my own reflection staring back at me, a curious mixture of excitement and apprehension in my eyes. But as I focused, the image began to shift and change before my eyes. I saw glimpses of distant lands, towering castles shrouded in mist and figures clad in strange attire. It was as if I was witnessing scenes from a forgotten time, a window into a world beyond our own. Suddenly, a voice echoed my mind, soft and distant, yet filled with urgency. "Beware," it whispered, sending shivers down my spine. I blinked, and the vision vanished, leaving me breathless and bewildered. Sarah grabbed my arm, her eyes wide with concern, but Mr. Jenkins simply nodded knowingly. "You have a gift," he said cryptically, his gaze fixed on the mirror. "But with great power comes great responsibility." His words resonated with me, and I felt a newfound sense of curiosity and determination. Mr. Jenkins offered to teach me more about the mirror and its mysteries, an offer that both terrified and intrigued me. Sarah and I left Mr. Jenkins' house that day. I couldn't shake the feeling that my life had changed forever. The encounter with the mysterious mirror had opened my eyes to a world of possibilities, a world where magic and mystery intertwined with the ordinary. I knew deep down that I'd stumbled upon something extraordinary, something that would shape my destiny in ways I could never have imagined. From that day on, I visited Mr. Jenkins regularly, eager to learn more about the mirror and the ancient secrets it held. Each visit brought new revelations and challenges as I delved deeper into its mystical properties and learned to harness its power. But amidst the excitement and wonder, a sense of unease lingered, a lingering fear that I was treading on dangerous ground. As I look back on that fateful day, I realize that sometimes the greatest adventures begin with a single, brave step into the unknown. The mirror taught me valuable lessons about courage, curiosity, and the importance of embracing the unknown. And although Mr. Jenkins is no longer with us, his legacy lives on in the mirror and in the memories of those who dare to believe in magic. If you want more spine-chilling tales like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support keeps these stories coming. Stay safe out there.